感恩上师佛的狮子吼，祈愿一切众生皆能具足因缘和能力，师说法因机醒悟，恒依佛智，念念觉悟，事事觉悟，时时觉悟，处处觉悟。是愿尽未来际与上师三宝的善因缘，如同真如自性，永恒清净自在，坚固不坏。与诸佛及佛所认可的善知识、善因缘，如同真如自性，永恒清净自在，坚固不坏。感恩上师佛的慈悲摄受，感恩所有善因缘没有舍弃我。水蒸捞月万万年，生生世世追逐了虚无缥缈、劳民伤财、耗神费力、苦乐无常、颠倒无尽，没意思。惭愧忏悔，亦待一切众生惭愧忏悔。犯病了还不自知的无明愚痴，祈愿一切众生皆能闻师说法，因机醒悟。但坚决誓愿具足因缘和能力，速证如所如说，随教而行。于诸和尚20类所，善能感恩欢喜的恭敬供养、尊正赞叹，随教而行，除舍乔慢，速速教诲。于正法真生起要想，于和尚20类所生起佛想，于自身所起病人想，于说法者起名医想，为积佛法，不爱生命，于诸财物衣钵之余起劳结想。施事一碗，法是药。但这个病人坚决誓愿感恩欢喜的增医主服药，远程离垢得法眼净，托念力福，福归元成。发本名药，摩尼宝珠随意现，逍遥自在为法王。愿此誓愿等真如具足极大的欢喜信心，大勇猛精进力，不乱专一的念，固定成自己的一部分，生成智慧，巧妙契合众生根基。谢谢。今天我们先来看一个小视频，等下我们看完以后，然后我们再大家分享一下从这里面我们有什么样的体悟。
Pretty intelligent, but sometimes they're so clever that it's frightening. Today will prove that animals are more capable than you think. This eagle is trained to neutralize drones that people fly illegally in restricted places. Macaw parrot knows how to crack open the coconut and get a fresh drink. This duo knows how to shock the viewers with their awesome hoverboard skills. Dog shows off his exceptional and flawless surfing skills. Even an elephant is intelligent enough to understand not to litter and put things back where they belong. This little dog is a pro at controlling balls. This clever crow knows how to use props to get things done. These elephants know how to survive an attack, along with protecting their little ones. This seal is amazing at this game and knows he has to win every time to get the reward. Dog gets his ball out of the pool without getting wet by using a floating board. The little one shows off his skills, and we think he deserves an Oscar. These deers are so confident in their placement that they don't even bother the hyenas trying to attack them. Owner used a clever way to give his dog his medicine. But there was someone more clever. Intelligent Crow is no doubt the champion of the bucket sort game. Intelligent Dolphin uses water to get the ball back. Imagine being scammed by a dog. This one must be the Ponzi of the dog world. This dog knows he needs to clean his paws before entering the home. Cute orangutan opening the juice box and drinking it with a straw is a treat for the eyes. They were just driving to the beach, and then this cow gave them directions. And the Best Baseball Player of the Year award goes to this dog. This elephant knows which vehicle is supposed to stop and why. The guy will never be short of food. Gone are the times when rats were naive. Now they know all the tricks to save themselves from rat traps. Dog knows where to find hot and fresh food. Hey. This pug knows handshakes are only meant for those who are going to chip in $1. The dog gives an outstanding performance, not just playing the piano, but also singing. Elephant returns the toy to this kid that accidentally fell into its space. This dog is so intelligent and knows exactly how to open the lock. This genius dog knows how to carry 4 tire tubes at a time. This little thief is a fan of Doritos. The bird not only steals the pack of chips, but enjoys eating it right then and there. Genius little cat knows how to put water in a glass and when to stop. Dog is making way for the water on the farm to make it reach the horse. The polar bear knows where to walk and where to crawl to avoid falling in the frozen water. This dog loves playing volleyball with his partner and is so attentive to the game. Stimp is getting prepped to show his amazing spin. If it wasn't for surveillance cameras, no one would believe how these dogs wiped the cute crime scene clean. This genius fish seems to be a soccer fan. Obedient dog knows how to serve his human and clean up the mess too. The cute pig has reinvented hula hooping and is very good at it. This parrot is a fan of YouTube and knows how to play his favorite videos. This dog knows how to get rid of the dog chain, and it's so cute. Dog single-handedly is handling this flock of sheep amazingly. Mama cat fixing the mess made by her kitten. This tortoise has an amazing talent to play tic-tac-toe perfectly. The cat is a champion in the bucketball game. This genius elephant knows how to take a shower. The dolphin traded the lost phone for a lot of cuddles. Dog figured out how to play with a ball when he's alone. Parrot knows how to play dead and has some fine acting skills. Crow just did his chores and then locked himself in the room. Cat just made her life easier by using technology.
Oh my god.
Pigeon knows where to take shelter in this heavy hailstorm. This bear will make your day with his perfectly synced kung fu tricks. The crab intelligently hid and protected its home. This chimp kept pointing toward her bag over and over, and when she took out a drink, he guided her to the hole so he could have his share. This dog is doing apparently quite difficult labor work in seconds. Cat knows how to quench her thirst. This genius cat has amazing observation skills and manages to find her ball no matter how much she's tricked by moving the cups. The small parrot is so clever in differentiating the colors and putting them in the matching bucket. Cute dog knows how to prep for a nap and is not compromising on his comfort. Little boy dropped his bottle near the orangutans at the zoo. The orangutan showed his amazing problem-solving skills and managed to get a hold of the bottle for him. This macaw parrot knows how to beat the hot weather by taking tap showers. This dog is the master of skateboarding and shows off his talent on the streets. This elephant loves to draw, and his brush strokes are no less than an artist's.
Okay.
The crow intelligently figures out how to get food from the hanging jar. Naughty Crow is messing with the fish. Rabbit is making way for his best friend so they can sneak out together.
Help, please.
What's this made of? Yes, made of metal. Good bird.
This parrot is a science lover and knows all about materials.
Yeah, it's made of glass.
The kind baron knows the right place for this orange cone and doesn't want anybody to get hurt. This dog is the leader of this flock of sheep and knows all the tricks to lead them. Orangutan is a pro golfer. Seal is helping the cleaning lady by picking up cones from the pool for her. These Labradors know how to get what they want, even if it seems impossible. Sharp Squirrel dodged the cat, and the cat is so confused about what's happening. This good dog helps his owner with the gardening and makes her work easier. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. We will see you in the next one.
OK，我们现在大家讨论一下，看完刚才那个视频，那我们头脑里面想到的会是什么？好，曾老师傅有话要讲。
大家好，能听到我声音吗 ？Hello，
好，请说啊。
能听到我声音吗？
听到。
可以听到对吧？
是。
啊 ，OK。看到的这个视频呢，我真的是自己觉得很自如。为什么呢？就是你看，连一个动物，你看不起的一个畜生道，它都能它都能训练，还有把自己训练成那么好，连我们自己人呢都那些他的动作，他的智慧，我们都做不了，都做不成。那么他一个畜生，他能够训练如此的顺流，那作为一个人来说，对我来说真是看完了以后，我真的太耻辱了。我们每天都学习佛法，然后还学这个学那个，但是自己都不去训练，自己都不知道，为自己训练，把这些智慧啊、能力啊训练成。而一个畜生，他都能如此的智慧，如此的善巧，那么作为一个人，真的是太耻辱。所以说，我们该不该，降服自己的烦恼，去训练愿力啊，还有佛法中我所教的一些能力、功德，还是一直的去追随烦恼，把自己给害成那个样子。那么看完这个视频，真的是我真的是很惭愧，很自辱。祈愿是否三宝加持，令我们大家以及一切众生能够具足极大的欢喜心情、精力去训练，具足无根无力去训练成就一些佛法，成就佛的一切智，佛的一些功德善教能力，方便方法去救护一切众生。好，谢谢大家。
谢谢真悟师傅的分享。确实啊，因为我们昨天在课里面解说的时候，我们是说到过关于耻辱，我说当我看到之前呢师傅这样问到，就说看到别人做一个很好的东西，比如说看到马斯克呀，或者是说其他人做出来非常好用、非常好用的一个产品，然后我们看到，然后师傅就问你看到这产品你什么感受？我说很好啊，我随喜啊，我赞叹啊。他就问你耻辱不？那我们昨天是不是在这样子的一个话题里面，我们结束我们昨天课就说，他说你耻辱不？我说人家做的那么好，我为什么耻辱啊？他说你为什么做不到？人家都做到，你为什么不做到？然后那是高人了啊。那现在我们就看到动物他们所做的那些，是不是就是训练智慧啊？就是说他们在按规则。你看那个 那个大象捡垃圾，他知道那垃圾应该放在规定的地方。然后你看那个小狗进屋的时候，在那个地毡上面擦脚啊，就说这些他一旦被就说训练了，告诉他了这是规则，他就按规则做了。这些是被调教出来的，真的调教以后他们都能做到。那就佛的十大名号之一里面不是有一个叫调育师吗？那调育就说，那我们有没有这样子能被调育好的那个潜质了？我们是被调教了驾驭，调育到能驾驭。就是有的你看哈，那些马呀，有些练马了，它开始的时候你不调的时候，它就是一匹野马嘛。然后你调育了，调育以后，你还能驾驭它。我们是不是有这个调柔性呢？我们能不能就是说，我们能不能被调育好了？我们能不能被这样子调制好了？你看这些动物，他们调教好以后，你看那些小象，那个要他表演的那个小象，他真的就是按规则，他接收到的这个信号，他就马上躺地上。然后那些小鸟，你看那些小鸟，你只要给它一个声音啊，它接收到了这个信号，它就能躺下。那也就是说，他们被调制、被调育，他们能规则，真的能守规则，能按规则办。那我们看到这些以后，我们耻辱不？然后惭愧不？然后甚至又在问到了，连动物尚且能做到这样子精进的训练，然后具足这些智慧。我们前面说到，就是说失智嘛，失智是什么？就是这些能力没有，是种障碍，发挥不出来。然后呢，我们失智了，然后现在就说我们要具足无碍智，去建立无碍智，点点滴滴都要去建立。然后我们建立开始知道了，我们自己失智了，然后我们知道了什么是无碍智，然后我们就要开始去练习。那就说的，我们去练习啊，我们每一个一定要变数到量，才能做成就是那种自然流畅、无功运行。那我们如果是自认为自己我知道了，你说一下我就明白了，但是呢不去练，是不是还是发挥不出来呀？然后那现在你看哈，那动物它练了以后，它都能自在的发挥。那我们说知道，我们都知道的。那这些动作要我们人来做的时候，是不是太简单了？但是我们能不能做到？我们能不能做到？有没有练呢？这是从动物这里，我们自己反省自己耻辱不？好，今天我们先来就是从博格医生的这个视频里面，我们先学习科普一下关于自体免疫的那一个概念，跟怎么样我们让它自然疗法对身体最好。因为我们现在身体好多，真的好多的诊断出来了，然后我们深受其苦就是如果说因现在医学叫亚健康，经常就全部推给亚健康状态，说身体亚健康了。其实上我们身体的好多诊断真的是被我们自己搞的。然后呢，我们现在的那个自我控制能力变得越来越差了。是我确实也深有感触就是以前能做得到的，以前能说到做到的，现在做不到了。然后呢，一些诊断出来了，就怎么会这样呢？那好，我们今天先学习从博格医生这2个相关的视频，我们学习。
System. It's all of the planet. And I'm going to talk about what I think is going on. Now, the quantity of people getting autoimmune diseases is ranked number 3 after cancer and heart attacks. Yet there's other reports that show that there's more people with autoimmune disease than both of those combined. In fact, the top selling drug on the planet is an anti-inflammatory that deals with autoimmune diseases. So the question is, what the heck is going on? What is causing our own immune system to turn on us and attack our own tissues? That's weird, isn't it? So to answer that question, I think it's not a good question. I think there's a better question. Because if you look up the underlying cause of autoimmune diseases, it's going to say unknown. It could be genetics. It could be environmental. We just don't know. We need to do more research. But a better question to ask would be this: what causes an immunodeficiency or an immunosuppressive state in your body, where your immune system is suppressed to the degree that it's non-functional? So this barrier, this wall, this defense of your immune system somehow is lowered to the point where things can then happen and your body can incorrectly tag the wrong thing and end up with a bit of a friendly fire. It's kind of like if, let's say, for example, you have to go to court, right? And there's a jury there, and maybe there's confusion, and they incorrectly label you as guilty, and now they tag you as an enemy, and then now you have to suffer all the consequences that go along with that. Well, with an autoimmune disease, the same thing happens. Your own tissue is incorrectly labeled, and now your immune system attacks that. And then you have all this collateral damage that occurs from the inflammation that's caused by your own immune system. Now, another interesting question that also relates to this would be, what makes your microbes that are in a dormant state, like, for example, Epstein-Barr virus? It goes into this dormant latent stage, and then one day it comes out and it ends up attacking us, right?
Renew Plus Hydrate your dry and sensitive skin. Dermaveen Face Range, the plus your skin needs.
With iPrimus, you can enjoy a little bit more of everything. Get more with iPrimus Internet.
So the question is why? What's the difference?
我看到这里，我突然冒出一个念头，就是说，那免疫系统为什么会自己攻击自己？为什么会去攻击错误的目标？那我们现在为什么真的？我们为什么就挑自己害自己的东西来吃？为什么我们会去把善知识当作敌对的来攻击？真的是如是因如是果呀。
Difference between before and now. There's even a condition where your immune system becomes suppressed and friendly bacteria morph into unfriendly bacteria, or microbes that are neutral. They're kind of, they're not hurting you or helping you, turn on you. That's called an opportunistic infection, where your immune system is taking advantage of a situation. And then the problem medically with these conditions is that they're just managed, okay? They just manage them with more medication, like prednisone, and then the side effects just continue. They don't really know what to do with this condition. Now, what you might know about autoimmune diseases is that they're triggered by certain chemicals in the environment, okay? Maybe toxins, leaky gut, okay? Definitely if you have any type of digestive issues or even thyroid issues. I mean, certain things like bad eating can create holes in your gut that then cause proteins to leak through your gut. So then your immune system incorrectly tags those as foreign proteins, and then we have this whole immune reactions. Now, certain drugs can cause autoimmune diseases. Corticosteroids are a well-known thing that can trigger autoimmune diseases, and of course, chemotherapy. But let's talk about the underlying causes that you might not be aware of, okay? And this is actually quite interesting. Number one, excessively clean environments, okay? As a child is exposed to this planet, they're born with part of their mother's immune system. It's called the innate immune system. And then they develop the acquired immune system as they acquire it by being exposed to the environment and interacting with microbes and then developing their immunity. That's why it's important not to have someone be in such a sterile environment all the time, because there's no training for the immune system. So it's normal for kids to get sick. So if a child gets sick and you quickly stop the fever or give them medication to suppress it, they never really develop a good immune system. And there's something called the hygiene hypothesis. And they found that kids that are in a sterile environment, they're not around microbes too much, they have a higher risk of getting autoimmune diseases down the road, especially versus kids that are raised on the farm or kids that are around pets or kids that are not in a sterile environment, which is interesting. Number two, okay? I'm not going to even mention this. I'm going to just show you the book, okay, the textbook, which is $120. You can buy it on Amazon, and you can very clearly see this connection, which I can't really talk about, but there's a huge connection between this topic and autoimmune diseases. And you can research this data yourself, but this book, which I have as a textbook, goes through some seriously credible information on something that's probably not going to be in the news. All right, number 3, infant formulas. Wow. Instead of breastfeeding, if a child is put on infant formulas, their tendency to get autoimmune, or the risk for getting autoimmune, goes up. Okay, and I'll put that research down below, which is actually another interesting and surprising thing that people don't connect the dots with. Number 4, a problem with the VDR. What is VDR? Vitamin D receptor. There's some good research, which I will put down below, that talks about improving autoimmune diseases with correcting the vitamin D receptor. So vitamin D is not a vitamin. It is a very powerful steroid, okay, in the body that is intimately connected with your immune system. There's over 19,000 genes that they have identified with vitamin D. So every part of your immune system needs vitamin D. In fact, vitamin D regulates your immune system, okay? And if you don't have enough, you're very susceptible to getting an autoimmune disease. In fact, I would venture to say that every single person who has an autoimmune disease is low in vitamin D. But you can have a problem genetically with the vitamin D receptor. The term is called polymorphism. And if you have that, you're more at risk of developing these autoimmune diseases as well. And these darn microbes, both bacteria and viruses, have a strategy of blocking the vitamin D receptor, because apparently they have the intelligence to know that if they shut that down, the entire immune system is shut down. So you'll see in the next slide what we're going to recommend to improve this vitamin D receptor, which actually even goes beyond just taking vitamin D. Very interesting. Number 5, this is a big one, losses, which is a major stress event, okay? When I was in practice, I would always ask a person who has an autoimmune disease, when did it start? What happened just before? I'm going to tell you, it was 100% of the people that told me this occurred after a major loss in their life, a death, a divorce, a loss of a job. Things that are related to stress in general can trigger an autoimmune disease, because when you increase cortisol, which suppresses the immune system, okay, it lowers your white blood cells, it leaves you vulnerable and susceptible to things happening where your immune system is misidentifying certain things. And this is why one of the major treatments for autoimmune diseases is a synthetic version of that cortisol called prednisone. But the problem is it comes with a lot of side effects. Number 6, antibiotics. Interesting. That relates to number 7, loss of the microbiome, right? So when you don't have all the right microbes in your gut, either whether you killed them or some other reason, you're more susceptible. Why? Because 80% of your immune system is your microbiome, okay? These microbes apparently have a very interesting arrangement with our own cells, in that we help them and they help us. And part of the agreement is that they protect us against foreign pathogens. And so we appreciate that. All right, let's get to the next slide right here. What do we do about it? You need to beef up, no pun intended, your vitamin D. At least 20,000 IUs of vitamin D. Also take the vitamin K2 with it. I have a lot of videos on that. I'll put the link down below. But vitamin D, and I'm talking about vitamin D3, not vitamin D2, okay? It has to be vitamin D3, can help to put back in that regulation of your immune system, okay? Very important. But does that fix the receptor? Not necessarily. There are other things that can help that vitamin D receptor, and one is bile salts, okay, which virtually has no side effects. And the one I'm going to recommend is TUDCA, okay? So take both of these. And as far as the amount of TUDCA, I would probably recommend taking 1 or 2 in the morning on an empty stomach, and then 1 or 2 in the afternoon on an empty stomach, at least for 3 weeks. And then maybe go down to 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon after that as a maintenance dose until you're in good shape.
Lipton Quality Black. Every sip's delish.
probiotics are key. Now, here's the thing. If you have an autoimmune disease, especially that's related to your gut, okay, and you may have SIBO, this might not be an option right away because you might feel more bloating with these probiotics. You're introducing more microbes, and you have microbes maybe in the wrong place in your small intestine, or you have some imbalance of microbes that can create an immune reaction. So I always recommend going very slow with these probiotics. I mean, like maybe a fourth of a teaspoon, just if you're taking a liquid right before bed, or maybe a fourth of a capsule, right? Just a small amount, because they can turn on an immune reaction. And this relates to number 4, reducing fiber if the gut is involved, okay? So I'm gonna put this one right here. If the gut is involved. So if the gut's involved, we have an imbalance in this microbiome, and you start putting fiber in there, and you put probiotics, and maybe you have small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, that can just stir up, then definitely take a probiotic, okay? And maybe not worry about fiber. And of course, the fiber I'm talking about, the fiber from salads, things like that. I would definitely not recommend ever getting your fiber from grains or legumes or beans. And this is why if someone has an autoimmune problem that's related to the gut, they will definitely do better on a carnivore keto plan than something with a lot of fiber. All right, number 5, a keto plan, which means you're doing low carb and you're doing quality ingredients, right? You don't want to put all that sugar in the system or carbs. You want to get on a keto plan because ketones in general are anti-inflammatory. Okay, we're trying to reduce inflammation. And number 6, this is a really important factor, fasting. This is how you're going to correct your immune system. There's quite a bit of data on doing fasting and improving autoimmune diseases, especially if you do regular intermittent fasting between the longer fasting, whether you do 3 days or 2 days. But if I were you, at least every 2 weeks, I would do a 48-hour fast, and I would do regular fasting. If you could do 1 meal a day, that would be the best thing you could do, but at least 2 meals a day. But fasting is going to strengthen your immune system. Fasting is going to lower your inflammation in your body. And of course, number 7, do whatever you can to reduce the stress. We want to do a stress detox. If there are people in your environment that are stressing you out, avoid them right now. You need to be in a healthy environment. And the next most important video for you to watch would be on this topic on fasting. So I put it up right here. Check it out.
我们再来看下一个，它怎样用最好的自然疗法。
Your immune system that combined. It's a huge problem with the solution giving you a lot of side effects, as in prednisone. So there really, at this moment, is not a good medical solution. But I'm going to reveal the absolute best treatment for all autoimmune diseases. And if you've never seen this treatment, boy, you need to know about it, because it can greatly improve your life. And the cool thing about it is it has virtually no side effects as compared to the treatment for autoimmune diseases. There are massive side effects, okay? It's just terrible because over time you develop a resistance to it. It ends up not working. And now what do? It's a situation. Number 2, everyone can completely afford this treatment, okay? It's very inexpensive. So that's some good news. Number 3, and this is huge, it can actually reverse the immune attack. I mean, think about what an autoimmune disease is. It's your own immune system that's attacking your own tissues. I mean, that's crazy. So this treatment can actually reverse that situation. Number 4, it's scientifically proven to reduce the severity of your symptoms. And I'm mainly talking about inflammation as the big one. How can your thyroid gland or your spleen or your tissues ever function when there's constant inflammation going on? In fact, it increases your risk of getting insulin resistance. It increases your risk of getting cancer. It puts you in a condition medication, which then have other side effects. So there's some hardcore data that shows that it can decrease interleukin 17 T cells. Now, what is that? that is something as a part of your immune system that causes inflammation. And this treatment I'm going to show you will lower that. Okay, so your inflammation will go down. This treatment even has the ability to reprogram your immune cells. So it's not just about giving you some symptomatic relief, it's about reprogramming your entire immune system, which is very exciting. Number 5, it can increase hemopoietic stem cells. Now, what does hemopoietic mean? Well, this relates to the bone marrow and the blood in your bone marrow that is making what's called stem cells, which is really these undefined basic cells that have the ability to turn into whatever cells that you need. So we have the stem cell reserve that's very, very important in the reparative action. And people even get stem cell therapy right now for all sorts of conditions and diseases. And it's an incredible therapy. But this treatment I'm going to reveal to you will increase your body's ability to make stem cells. So you can basically repair and rebuild your immune system. And so the solution has to be an improvement and strengthening of your immune system versus the current treatment, which is just the suppression of your immune system, which does not repair it. And number 6, this treatment is going to decrease the need for medication. Number 7, which kind of relates to some of the other ones, it will give you a potent immune controlling effect, especially for rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, MS, all sorts of skin autoimmune conditions like psoriasis. And then you have the autoimmune conditions of your thyroid, like Graves' disease or Hashimoto's. And then we have one for the adrenals called Addison's disease. So it's going to greatly put control back into your immune system. Number 8, it has the potential to increase the quantity and diversity of your microbiome. And the microbiome is basically 80% of your immune system. So that right there can be a huge influence to help you as well. And number 9, this treatment will give you regenerative effects on your tissues. But in addition to all of this, it can also help you kill cancer cells, which is a nice little side benefit. It can help make you more intelligent. It can improve your cognitive function. It can improve your mood to bring you up. It can help also fix your metabolism. But other than that, there's really no other benefits, okay? I'm being very sarcastic. This is what it is. Fasting. Wow. There you have it. Surprise. Now, what I thought was kind of funny in some of the studies that I read, they mentioned that, wow, you get these great results when you're fasting, but then when you start eating, you lose some of these fasting benefits. But what if you just practiced routine, regular, intermittent fasting, okay? Well, that might work because the benefits for your immune system actually can occur over a period of hours of fasting. I mean, you can get immune benefits from doing 18 hours of fasting. But what I would recommend, if I were you and I had an autoimmune disease, is I would recommend OMAD, 1 meal a day on a regular basis, okay? And have a huge meal. But that would give you 23 hours of fasting, which would be huge, okay? Now, at the very minimum, I would do 20 hours of fasting and then just a 4-hour eating window. So let's say your first meal was at 12 noon, and then your second meal was at 4, okay? Or your first meal is at 2, and your second meal would be at 6 o'clock. I mean, at the very minimum, do this, but if you can do that, that would be better. And do this on a regular basis. That alone will produce huge effects on your immune system. And number 2, interject regular or routine prolonged fasting, okay? I'm talking 48 to 120 hours. That's fasting for 2 days to 5 days on a regular basis. And I would recommend the 48-hour fast every 1 to 2 weeks. That is something that's doable for most people, and it will give you huge effects on your immune system if you're combining both of these. Now, depending on your discipline and your severity of symptoms, you might want to add a 5-day fast once you get used to this, okay? Once you feel better, maybe you do that once a month, but that would be huge in your recovery. The cool thing about fasting is you lose your appetite, so it makes it very easy to do, because if you had to be starving all the time and hungry and craving and doing this, it would be torture, okay? But that's why I'm bringing up this next section right here. What I'm describing here is called time restrictive eating, okay? You're doing this regular routine fast where you're not eating for a while and then you're eating, okay, on a daily basis. But there's also different types of fasting patterns, like the alternative day fasting, which I don't recommend. Like you fast one day, but then you eat the next day. You fast one day, but you eat the next day. The problem with that is you never fully adapt to the state of ketosis. And so you are hungry constantly and you're craving on the days that you're fasting. That's like very difficult to do. And then you have the 5 and 2 diet, which is even worse, where you're pretty much eating what you want for 5 days. And then for 2 days, you're fasting or you're eating, I think, 500 calories, which you never really adapt. And so I don't like this either because it's difficult to do because you're going to still have your cravings. You're still going to be hungry. There's also calorie restriction, which you're kind of mimicking fasting by reducing the calories to like 500 calories a day. Honestly, I don't like that either because it's not a true fast. It's mimicking your fasting. And yes, there's benefits for sure. Okay, there's scientific data that states that it works. But again, if you start eating a little bit of food, that alone is going to stimulate hunger and you're going to want to eat more. It's not until you completely just stop eating until your body gets into a state where the hunger just completely goes away. So I'm going to recommend time restricted eating. Now, there's 2 very important videos to watch next. One, maybe you already watched before, and that is on the underlying causes of autoimmune diseases, and I'm going to put that down below. But the other one would be just on how to do fasting, okay? And I put that up right here. Check it out.
我们现在回到这个这个就是我们昨天提出的问题，就是说为什么会反复发作？为什么反复发作不可抗拒？然后呢，你看啊，那博医生今天在教我们呢，第一，我们就是有一个错误的行为，甚至免疫系统都在自我攻击。它免疫系统呢，它在自我攻击，然后我们这里面是不是一个错误的观念在里面呢？那免疫系统它也是，然后它告诉我们怎么样处理曾这个反复发作不可抗拒的这个里面怎么处理呢？就是来个断食。那断食的时候，它让那个免疫系统自我修复一下。那我们真的是这个时候，就是如果是说你对自己够狠，也完全是为自己好，因为你里面的那些它在攻击自己啊，这个免疫系统在自我攻击啊，它真的它把那些我们把好的细胞也好，它把错误的目标它自我攻击啊，它是自我攻击啊，我们在自我伤害啊，这里面这个时候我们来个断电，惩治一下断电，惩治一下。然后呢，它里面说到过，就是说，那如果是刚开始的时候，你的食物，因为它有教我们很多，就是我们在断食的时候，如果我们在断食的时候，我们可能要增加多一点脂肪。这个时候，如果吃错了的话呢，我们还是会饥饿，就是他说的渴望，这时候是坚持不了的。真正你启动了生酮，就是在以自己内脏的那些脂肪作为能量，然后燃烧酮来支撑我们的每天需要消耗的能量的时候，那真的不饿，没有食欲，就是我们那套消化系统它就关闭了，那套系统它就会开始关闭。它关闭的时候，你这时候不需要通过进食然后摄取能量来支撑你要做的事。这个时候其实那个储备能量，我们身体里面的储备能量跟我们每一餐吃进去的那点能量比较起来，真的是大巫见小巫小巫见大巫，差的太多了。因为我好像印象里面记得他说过一个数量，就是我们吃一餐，不管你吃到撑多好，你摄取的那个卡路里吧，就是大概也就是1700 1700多嘛一餐，然后这些你摄取碳水化合物也好，因为它们最后都是要变成葡萄糖供给你能量嘛。那如果是说你一餐吃这么多，然后呢，你很快把这一餐的那些就消耗掉了，消耗掉了以后，你又开始饿了。你没有多长时间，大概几个小时吧，有的时候甚至1个半小时你就开始饿了。然后如果是说你是开始启动另外一个系统，另外一个系统就是我们身体的内脏那些脂肪，我们用那些内脏脂肪，然后转化成那种能量支撑我们的时候，这时候就叫酮，它叫生酮。启动酮的时候，它能消炎。第一，它能消炎；第二，就是说你启动那一套那个系统的时候，真的没有食欲，真的没有食欲。因为前面我就试过一次了嘛，就是刚开始前面1、2天，你还会有一点点，它要反应一下，就像那个身体的那种生物针呢，它到了这个时间点，你没有喂东西给它，那个胃呀，它会有一些反应。因为每天你到这个点，你都给它东西嘛，给它东西，然后它就开始分泌胃酸来消化呀。但你到了这个点，你不给它东西，它会惯性的、习惯性的会在那里开始动啊，然后你就感觉，哎呀，是不是饿了呀？然后你坚持下去，最少18个小时以后，那个免疫系统才开始启动嘛，成型启动。然后你只要坚持下，那里真的是很短的一个点，你只要突破那个点，到后面启动生酮系统的时候，你就不会饿了。那这样子启动，那就是真的是最省钱的，又没有副作用的，然后安全的。这样子的话，我们修复我们自己的免疫系统，最少不要自我伤害呀，不要自己攻击自己啊！你自己攻击自己的时候，多痛苦啊！这里面免疫系统真的免疫系统失调，免疫系统减弱了，好多的疾病都会进来了。然后他这里说到的这几点啊，并且呢，你看哈，断食能杀死癌细胞，因为它没有食物了。你断食以后，没有它要的食物了，没有它要的食物以后，它是不是就会直接饿死了？因为有些细菌呢，有些那种细胞，有些细菌呢，你不给它食物，它几个小时就死了。你一定要用食物去养它的，要去滋养它的。那经常说到的什么叫养呢？比如说你养一棵苗，你要养苗你就不能断它的水啊，你不能断它的营养呢。你一旦断了以后，它马上就干死了，枯竭了。这种细胞，好的细胞，它们也是这样子。它们如果是说你没有补充它要的营养，它要的食物，它们几个小时以后，他们就跟你拜拜了。然后第二点，你看啊，提升认知变聪明，提升情绪，修复新陈代谢，当时的额外好处。然后呢，你看这里哈，它逆转免疫攻击，这是在自我攻击了，真的是在自我攻击、自我残害了。我们平时说我们追随烦恼的时候，是不是也就是自我残害呀？你看这个，我们有这个因，我们这个身体里面都会这样子，我们身体的每一个细胞啊，我们身体的这套免疫系统，它都会自我攻击，它会来把我们当做一个敌对的要的东西，它把它攻击它。然后当我们惩治，我们就是断食，就让它赶快恢复正常吧。然后增加造血干细胞，这个干细胞，我给医生刚才说的了，它是没有被定义的，哪里需要它就到哪里。然后，所以我们好多的自我修复，就是干细胞在那里干活了。我们哪里受损呢？比如说我们的那个皮肤假如是说有外伤，然后没有什么发炎，没有感染什么的时候，一般情况都这样子哈。你就是真的是一个刀伤也好，一个 一个反正就是说开口的那种串口也好，它很快可以自己长好的，真的太神奇了，这个自我修复功能太神奇了。那就是干细胞啊，就是身体里面储存的干细胞，那哪里需要那干细胞就围过来了，赶快把那里搞好吧，赶快把那里修复好啊，他们就来干活了。那如果我们断食就能增加造血干细胞，而这个干细胞你看啊，好多人是这样子的，就是说真的我们看到过有一些那些文献，其实上这个干细胞有的人他们很残忍的，之前看到过好像一个链接，他们有些人呢，他们会生下孩子来做什么？他们生下孩子就是为了他自己，如果他生病了，他需要干细胞，他没有的时候，他这时候没有的时候，他要用干细胞疗法，他要从他自己孩子的身上去出取这些东西来，真的是看到这里，我觉得这好残忍啊。然后这个干细胞，那有些就是它会有那个排斥，它如果从别人那里弄过来的时候，假如说啊，它不像人，它不接纳的时候，它还会排斥。然后我们自己只要通过断食就能增加干细胞，真的是太便宜的一个事了。就是断食啊，就能增加干细胞呀。然后呢，减少药物需求，然后具强大的免疫控制作用，增加肠道菌数量，多样，帮助组织再生。几乎无副作用，任何人都负担得起，逆转免疫攻击。这个断食的过程呢，伯格医生也讲到过，在断食的过程中呢，可以适当的补充一点点，就是海盐，然后呢，维生素 B 还是维生素 D 啊？如果是说要让自己的免疫系统很快的修复过来的时候，他建议你看哈，他建议就是一个月来一次长断食，那5天。如果第一次做不到5天，它可以慢慢来的嘛。你最少来一次48小时，因为48小时以后就消炎了。我上一次的感受就是48小时，身体的那些炎症呢，就真的很清爽。如果是说你吃药，你吃抗生素，医生给药给抗生素的话，一般是7天嘛。那你看吃抗生素要7天才能见效，针尖断了，针尖停了的时候，你只能会越搞越严重。因为你针尖抗生素你没有吃够7天，然后并且呢你没有按那个时间点吃的时候，后面就没作用了。然后那些病毒在身体里面，就是你消炎那些，他们就变成会抗药性，他们就越来越强壮了。你再给那些药进去的时候，你再给这个抗生素进去的时候，你等于在喂它，也就是说它已经产生抗药性的时候，你再给它这药的话，你就在喂它，又把它养得越强壮了。然后，但是我们通过断食48小时，真的48小时以后，那个效果太明显了。那如果是说自己想试的话，可以从48小时啊，然后第2个月增加到再增加1天嘛，就是你看这里是5天，他的建议是1个月来一次5天嘛，一次性做不到5天的时候，从2天是起点，然后第2个月做3天。第3个月做4天，第4个月做5天，这样不就达到了吗？这样子的话也不用花钱去买药了。然后呢，它不仅仅是让免疫系统重新启动，就是那带来其他的那么多的好处。额外就是说，但是的额外好处是杀死癌细胞了，提升认知，变聪明了。这个是不是太有诱惑性了？就是提升认知，变聪明，那谁不想呢？提升情绪，然后修复新陈代谢。这个断食呢，其实上也真的是也要有因缘的，因为有的时候你想做，你真的是想把这个身体修复，但是家人会不会在那里很恐惧呢？就是他非要拉着你吃，那如果是说让他恐惧，让他惊恐，那也不好。那我们可以就是说那个明显的效果， 慢慢的、慢慢的让他看到啊，然后甚至让他自己尝试啊。这里面的好处，真的这里面的好处太大了。断食到后面是越来越清爽，人是越来越清爽，然后呢，那个饥饿感真的没有饥饿感的，看到的食物它一点都没有诱惑力了。你如果要吃它，你就吃它，你不要吃它，你就不吃它。它没有说那种看到就忍不住会生疏，没有了。然后如果是还有一点哈，额外的要提醒一点就是。如果断食了48小时，甚至到5天的时候，你开始进食的时候，开始不能接触碳水啊，那样子会有很危险。如果是说你断食以后就开始第一餐就开始吃大量的那个碳水进去的话，会让身体又开始紊乱了。然后如果是说我们真的打算有一个这样子长时间断食的时候，那可以相互沟通一下哈，然后把一些这一块的一些视频我们再找出来，大家再学习啊，分享啊。因为断食以后再开餐的话，它有一个过程的，是怎样的一个量，然后吃什么样的食物，那时间间隔，那样子的话，让身体很快的，就是说，调整过来。因为你断食以后呢，它消化系统是关闭的，那你关门了。然后你要再次打开的时候，一定要遵循方法，不然的话会把身体搞得很紊乱，身体里面的那些内分泌啊，全部开始紊乱。一紊乱以后，弄不好就会分泌一些又毒自己的一些激素出来，然后会搞得自己真的是有生命危险。所以这一块我们遵循这些知识善因缘教我们。今天时间又到了，好，我们今天呢就学习了博格医生的2个网页，只是真的是说一个问题，就是免疫系统，我们怎么样让免疫系统更好的工作，然后紊乱的时候我们把它惩治一下。我们的手机也好，电脑也好，有的时候它真的是就是乱了。我的手机也试过，有的时候你要找个小图标找不到，你不知道它跑哪里去了，你觉得好奇怪。我有一次就是找那个小闹钟呢，那小闹钟我要定一个计时，那翻到处翻，怎么就那个小闹钟不见了？我觉得好奇怪啊！你这个时候不用管它了，直接给它关机，关机以后再重新启动，它就出来了。我们电脑有的时候也是这样子啊，不知道哪里被我们搞乱了，你要去排查原因啊。因为我们又不是这一块的专家，你排查不出来。最直接的做法就是断电惩治，断电以后重新启动就好了，什么问题都没了。这是博格医生教我们哈，最便宜的，每个人都可以做到的一个方法，怎样从这个反复发作的不可抗拒的摄食欲望里面出来，你就来个断食。那佛法也是教我们啊，梵经经常教我们啊，你就反着来，你越要吃我就越不吃。好，那越不吃的话，我按医学的方法来做，这时候让免疫系统重启一下。一次做不到5天，那我从48小时开始，或者是1天只吃1餐，然后其他时间都不吃。他说的，你就用1个小时吃，你其他就23个小时的在断食啊。感恩所有的善因缘，谢谢。今天时间到，谢谢大家。关于我们在学习认知认识我们哪些地方是失智了，然后我们要建立无爱智这一块呢，这2天呢，师父分享了一个链接，就是那个哲学家呀，维特斯根谈，他在教我们怎么样去应语言这个工具，怎么样应语言这个工具，然后 我们现在也都在天天要在练习啊，因为要用这个工具跟外界沟通啊，然后塑造自己的安乐的人生呢，安乐命运呢。那我们要用语言这个工具来塑造自己的、建立自己的安乐命运呢。然后这一块的话呢，它是从哲学这一块再告诉大家这个事情，这个游戏是怎么玩的，这个语言游戏是怎么玩的。好，我们也一起来。这边呢，我们怎么样从这个反复发作的这个不可抗拒的摄取欲望里面出来，然后我们这个出来了以后，我们就能更轻松的学习啊。我们来玩游戏啊，用这个语言玩这个语言游戏来离开这些障碍、这些失智，我们建立我们的无爱智。我们后面我们这样子来一个这样子的方向，大家有没有更多就是说还有其他方面的一些建议，更多的建议我们可以综合起来。